Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:50 and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Keisha, would you mind taking a roll call?
Absolutely. Dr. Maravecchia,
Present.
Maravecchia here. Mr. Bennett? Mr. Billings? Mr. Bunchy? Ms. Ashley? Here. Ms. Carney? Here. Ms. Hagan? Ms. Hayner?
Here.
Ms. Harmon? Ms. Kelly Dooley?
Here.
Mr. Macaluso? Ms. Wynn? Ms. Rocca? Mr. Rocca?
Here.
Ms. Stewart? Mr. Williams?
Here.
And Ms. Sue?
Okay, thank you, Keisha. Before we get started, can you also please review the rules?
Yes, ma'am. So I just wanted to remind everybody a few rules for the committee members and members of the public attending in person. Please raise your hand to speak and wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking. To help the meeting run smoothly, please keep side conversations to a minimum and comments related to the topic we are discussing. For those committee members who are attending virtually, remember you must be on camera and have your first and last name shown to be counted towards our quorum. Please keep microphones muted unless called upon by the chair. Electronically raise your hand to request to speak and wait to be called on by the chair. For attendees, electronically raise your hand to request to speak. Once recognized by the chair, your microphone will be turned on. After speaking, the microphone will be returned to me. Also, the Q&A is to only be used by those needing the ADA accommodation to participate in the meeting. Public comment will not be accepted via the Q&A except for those individuals who requested the accommodation. As for order, committee members in person and virtually will be allowed to speak first. Public members in person will then be called on, followed by public participating virtually who have their hand raised. Comments in the Q&A will be addressed last. As with all hybrid meetings, it can be difficult to keep track of those wanting to speak in person and virtually. Please be patient. All comments and questions from the public may be subject to 2 minutes at the discretion of the chair, so please keep that in mind. Depending on time constraints, we may also limit comments to 1 per issue. Comments about a person's character will not be allowed. Finally, members of the public will have the opportunity to provide public comment before each vote and during designated public comment periods. The chair may also use their discretion to determine if comments will be accepted outside of those times.
Okay, thank you, Keisha. Next on our agenda is the approval of the July meeting summary. Everyone should have reviewed this summary, which was attached in the agenda you received via email. There is also a copy in your committee packet. Now I need a motion to adopt the July meeting summary. Okay, thank you, Elena. Okay, is there a second? Tori, sorry, Tori Roca. Second, thank you. Is there any discussion? Whoa, any public comment? Okay, now we will do a roll call. The teacher, will you please do the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Barry Vecchio?
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with audio quality. Didn't catch the Brits of that.
Okay, right now we're doing the motion to adopt the minutes from July.
There is something wrong with my audio. I apologize.
Want me to come back to, can you hear us now?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bennett, sorry. Mr. Billings? Mr. Blanchi? Ms. Ashley? Yes. Ms. Ashley, yes. Ms. Crane? Yes. Ms. Crane, yes. Ms. Hayden? Ms. Hayno? Ms. Hayno, no? No. You're right. You're not gonna vote. I'm sorry. Thank you. Keep me in mind. Keep me in mind.
Well, I'm doing
Ms.
this.
Harmon? Ms. Kelly Dooley?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly Dooley, yes. Mr. Macaluso? Ms. Nguyen? Mr. Rocca?
Yes.
Mr. Rocca, yes. Ms. Stewart? Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, yes. Ms. Zhu?
Yes.
Ms. Zhu, yes. And we'll come back to Ms. Patty.
I'm going to abstain because I did not hear what we're yay or naying on.
Okay. So you have 6 yeas and 1 abstention.
Okay, thank you. The motion to adopt the July meeting summary has passed by 6 yeas and 1 abstention. Okay, so the next thing, or rather, the first thing on our agenda, whatever, is, the 9 contractual update. So Mr. Bernard Brown, can you fill us in for, how in this community, can you give us an LDH update? Please. Yes, now we will turn things over to Bernard Brown from OCDD, who will turn the update from the department regarding this past session and other initiatives. Bernard, you have the floor.
Thank you, Jill. All right, so just a couple, excuse me, just a couple of updates, not much. So I'll give you an update on last month around the rate study. We still don't have a finalized rate study yet. Our LDA committee is still reviewing it to make sure that, I'll be frank, it's digestible, like we can understand what it's purporting, what it's saying. So we supposed to meet today. I think we did. I don't have an update on the outcome of that meeting, but I will say in the next couple of weeks, we should have a published report for the own community-based side. So that's that update. And another just piece of like foreshadowing. We are set to release information about an OCD summit. It'll be an all-day event on January 20th. More details to follow with official notice probably next week, if not the end of this week, just outlining how to register, and things of that sort. I will say that the number of participants in person will be limited to about 280, 300 because of the venue. But we are planning to live stream it, so if you can't come in person, you will be able to at least see what happens at the all the conference virtual. Other updates, we also have a waiver amendment that's out across all 4 waivers. Nothing we're adding or changing substantive to the waiver, mostly like making sure that language in one waiver is consistent with language in another. We're using the same terminology. We make sure we have all of the post-public health emergency changes in the waivers in the right spots. So that's out and we'll see CMS for approval, but again, there's no major changes to the waiver services to really discuss. And that's all I have for updates, so if I have any other questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bennett. Are there any questions about the OCD in outreach or update? Elena?
Do you have like a time frame where you think we will get the results?
Yeah, in the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops. It's like we said last month, their information is there, but I think the angst is around making sure when we put it out, you guys can understand what it's saying. So it's super technical right now. Like it's saying, so it's like there's a ton of questions internally. So we want to make sure whatever we put out, you guys can put out.
Thank you, Mr. Bernard, Mr. Brown, Mr. Williams. Do you have anything to add to that?
No real updates. I do want to make note of, I think I brought up before about the wait list surrounding our community choices waiver. We did execute a contract, we got approval to execute a contract, and that has been completed. We had an initial meeting with the contract provider this morning to address the community choices waiver wait list. I think I mentioned before, we have slots available, so due to some of the challenges that we're facing with staff in the community, both support coordination and direct service workers. We still have challenges with getting participants moved into those slots. So as a part of the contract, we're going to look at the wait list. We're going to look at different strategies that we can implement to address the wait list. As a part of that, we're also going to look at, rather than the wait list is established right now, it's a first come, first served basis, but we want to look at being able to move folks off the wait list based upon need, based upon acuity, versus just first come, first served. So more information to come in very early stages of the contract. We met with the provider this morning, kind of laid out some of our deliverables and what we expect from the scope of work associated, and so I have more information in the coming months on how that's progressing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there any other committee members that have questions or any public? Sorry. Moving on. Okay. Ms. Womack, can you provide us with some updates from Mandaki?
Yeah, I think the most important update was around the rate study that Bernard spoke to. There aren't any changes with any of the other waivers. We'll provide a more in-depth update for Medicaid overall during the DD council meeting tomorrow. But as for today, there's nothing specific to highlight for Medicaid.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we will move on to Kentucky show update, which is your status report, and we are trying to get goals in 1 and 2 in this committee. So Stephanie, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I will start with partners and policy making. I have a lot here. So partners and policy making had their reunion. They also had their graduation in July, and then they had their reunion afterwards. There were over 70 participants from across the graduating classes, and they made sure to include people from different parts of the state also. So they wanted representatives not only from the different classes, but also different regions across the state. It was a great time. We did have a couple council members that attended because they are partners graduates. And then also Partners in Policy Making held their selection committee for the upcoming class that's gonna start in January. So they did make selections. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can check my email really quickly to tell you how many people were selected and how many alternatives, if y'all are interested in those numbers. But the thing that I do want to point out is that there was like a record amount of self-advocates that applied for the 2026. There were, I believe, 9 self-advocates, which is the most that's ever applied in a single year. The unfortunate thing was that not all of them could be accepted only because of the budget at the time. So they did, I think, accept 8 or maybe 7, I don't remember. And the other 2 were as an alternate. So that way, if somebody couldn't come, those were the first alternates that would fill those spaces. And it's just because of how the budget played out in the end and supports for the self-advocates that they would be a little bit more than a parent would cost. So that is the update for Partners in Policy Making, unless you have any questions.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on partners or staff? Okay, none online. Okay, okay, Stephanie, you can continue.
I apologize, Jill. We do have a question from Ian in the chat.
Okay, can you read it?
Oh, I'm sorry, not the chat. She does have her answer.
Who is it?
Ms. Lillian.
Okay, Ms. Dejon, you have the floor. You're on mute, Lil.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect, thanks. Sorry, my Wi-Fi has been a little bit slow today. Quick question about the budget. So were the self-advocates who weren't not able to be accepted because their accommodations were too costly? Is that correct?
From what I understand, yes. But that's not the only reason. It had to also do with where in the state they were located. And then also, so like reimbursement rates for that. And then there was concern for, wait, what did I say? Yes, the reimbursement rate for like travel, but also in order to have a self-advocate, I believe on the application, a couple of them needed, specific accommodations. So they are listed as the alternative, or an alternate, I'm sorry, as alternates from what I remember, but like I said, I can get you specifics if that's what you're looking for.
I appreciate the information. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, well. Okay, so Stephanie, you can continue, please.
Sure. The next activity is activity 1.1.7. And it is the Louisiana Youth Leadership Forum. So this update is kind of short. We had a debriefing with YLF and their staff. And we just kind of talked about how everything went during YLF over the summer. I believe it was in July. It might have been June, I'm sorry, I don't remember offhand. So we did have a debriefing where we just talked about what worked, what things were they expecting for the upcoming year. And that's really the update for YLF. They are planning everything, so they have upcoming plans already. They've already started meeting with places. They made a decision, I believe, or they're about to make a decision on where they're gonna host it. So once we have the dates and any other information, we'll give that information.
I have a question.
I might have an answer.
If not, well, on. Are we, y'all, because I'm not funny, are y'all doing LSUE again? Oh, well, Lincoln's building.
I have no idea, I just staff. I just volunteer for staff, if they pick me, I get to go, but I have no idea.
Lil,
Lillian's on, she can probably answer that question, Jill.
yeah. Okay. Lillian? You're on mute, Lillian.
She was saying she had Wi-Fi issues, but I believe it's my understanding they were coming back to LSU.
That was my understanding too.
I thought
They were very
they
happy.
really liked it.
It was really great.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Yes, she's having trouble unmuting, but she did confirm, I just got a message from her, that they are returning to LSUV, for the upcoming session.
Okay, great.
That is one of the things that we talked about, was that the accommodations and the experience overall at LSU was really good, so.
That's curious. Okay, so Seth, continue.
Sure. Let me grab my computer so I can share my screen really quick. I have a,
If y'all want to knock me out of office, I completely did it.
Doing a great job.
alright, so, the council collaborated with Team Dynamics for the abuse and neglect and exploitation training. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it makes it like cuts it off a little bit, but really the most important stuff isn't really the dates. In this last quarter, there were 2 trainings. So the trainings have completed, total, there were 85 people trained. A majority of those people were professionals. So I did just wanna bring that up. This objective is, this activity is going to be in the next plan for this upcoming, or I guess what started as in October 1. So this activity is still on the plan. So this was the first year. So this will be going into a second year, and I do know that they have already started. They have already started a lot of their planning because they asked me for like media release. One of the things that I know that they're doing is they are including videos. So they're including videos from people with lived experience and having people like short little videos that they're going to use for promotional items, but also for their training. So where individuals with developmental disabilities and caregivers and people that are, working with them, any kind of professional, they are going to kind of interview them, from what I understand, talk about these things, and then that's going to be pushed out on social media for marketing purposes, to market the trainings, but also to use within those trainings. I don't know if they're doing a longer video kind of thing for that, but that is what we have so far, because I know that they have started that already.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Any questions before moving on? Now, teacher is here to give us updates on the remaining activities. So Ms. Brett, if you will. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're recognized, Dr. Zu.
I just saw the people look through the majority attendants are professionals, so I just curious what kind of professional attended this training.
So on the registration, there's not really like a space to specify what kind of professional they are. And when we do our reporting, they want it very general. So it's either self-advocate, family member, or pretty much anyone else will fall under the professional category. I will say that the training that I went to in Baton Rouge with them, it was mostly people that were like support workers, like when they might see how to identify maybe something going on with like somebody else, like a night worker or even a family member. So when they might recognize it, but then they also had someone from, I want to say it was like a day center, I don't remember. So kind of like those other people that are seeing the individual with the developmental disability and how they can recognize maybe when they're not around.
So they just volunteer to attend.
Yes, I will say that the Team Dynamics, which is the trainer, they can also give out CEUs, so continuing education units. So they can give out CEUs, and I believe that they were giving out maybe a half CEU in order to go to this training, but it might have been one full, I don't remember exactly. So I think that they try to send them out to different agencies to let them know, like, you can come and get a CEU for coming and attending this training, to try to get more people in too.
Right, so there's a kind of training program for the some agency for some group or some, just that kind of care, daycare center, that there is some kind of training program for this kind of facilities.
I'm not sure if there's like a separate one that they have to do, but I know that if they went to this one, they could use that training as an education unit.
It looks like this one more volunteer, more flexible, not
Yes.
assigned to the facilities to do that employee, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely more volunteer and more for, if you wanted to go. But it seems like just kind of, even if you look at the table, you can see that throughout professionals were ones that came a lot. And I think having that option to get that education unit might have been what made them want to go. And then also the timing was also pretty good for people that have flexible schedules, so, because it was during the day.
Okay. They're good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Dr. Liu, and thank you, Stephanie. Any more questions on Stephanie's contract? Okay, now, Rikisha, would you like to give us updates on the remaining activities?
Not a problem, but we do actually have somebody to go over, the website updates. So, Mr. Grayson is on, so I'm gonna go after him, if that's okay.
Perfect, yes, sir. We're ready when you are, Mr. Jackson.
Hey everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good deal. Well, we appreciate the invite today. I know I've got my coworker Jay. Jay is our senior developer who built the LADDC website. That's going to be hopping on the call today as well. But yeah, if y'all would like, we're happy to just kind of dive into the new LADDC site that we built. A few of the highlights as far as new functionality goes, and happy to answer any questions that anybody has as well.
Grayson, would you like me to share the website?
Sure, yeah, that'll be good.
Okay. And then I also promoted Jay, so that, oh, okay, well, I can let him speak if he wanted to speak. He could just raise his hand so that way we know, and then I can allow on our side.
All right, sounds good. And Jay, feel free to interject if there's anything that comes up that you'd like to dive a little bit deeper here as we kind of talk through some of the functionality with things. So yeah, there's a few different pieces we'd like to highlight first. So first and foremost, one of the things that we wanted to highlight with the new website is have something a little bit more visually appealing right off the bat that speaks to what it is that LADDC does, and specifically that advocacy piece. So you'll notice here we've got some creative imagery that we've got rotating through. The old website also had some details for website content and various language pieces there as well. To make that experience a little more fluid, we've also added that icon up at the top, focusing on, which is Google Translate is the program that we have there. So making it to where you can toggle between various language options very easily, try to make that experience a little bit more intuitive and user-friendly. In as many ways as we can. And another piece I'd like to highlight as well is you may have noticed this stick figure icon on the bottom right hand of the website. So that is Accessiby, which is a really powerful accessibility tool that we have for a lot of our websites here at GatorWorks, especially recognizing this in the government sector as well. A lot of our sites that we've built tend to have this piece here. But it basically is just a really powerful accessibility tool for anybody that might need to make any adjustments to the website. You'll notice it's even got a seizure safe profile, vision impaired, ADHD. There's also variations you can do with speech to text. You can scale the content, make the text bigger. There's a ton of different tools that you can utilize with this piece as well. This is something that I believe whenever we started the new website project, we also ensured that this was added to the older LADDC website. So it may look familiar if you've seen it before, but just making sure that that also carried over to this new website as well. And regarding that accessibility piece, I wanted to start with that because we also have some functionality on the site when it comes to things like the 2025 meetings, the LACAN alerts, where we wanted to make sure, and I guess this is specifically for that alerts piece specifically, we wanted to make sure that this ADA compliance tool, which really is able to work on all aspects of the site for pages that we have built on the website. And I think previously the LACAN alerts piece was opening some documents in a new tab, which is great for functionality, but it does have some significant limitations in the way of how this ADA compliance tool can work. And the idea there is, you know, we build out this website to handle all aspects of what Accessiby can function with for ADA compliance. But once a document opens up in a new tab, for instance, that accessibility tool can no longer function because that's a document opening in a new tab. Whereas with these LACAN alerts opening within the same web page and having the content there, those LACAN alerts can now be utilized in a bit more of an ADA compliant manner. And you'll notice here how we've got the various action alerts. Previously, this was in a Word document format. Now it's actually built out on the page, listing out the date and things of that nature. And there are some future updates that we're also looking to make to this particular section of the site to account for the changes in fiscal years and things of that nature. So more changes on this section of the site to come. But that accessibility tool, really just looking to utilize it as much as we possibly can on this new website. And then, yeah, outside of that, I know there's some other areas where we just wanted to make things a little bit more fluid, having that navigation organize things a little bit more to where we can keep the user experience as intuitive as possible. Have a user very easily find exactly what they're looking for. And another piece of this as well is ensuring that we still have the older content on the website. I understand with this being associated with the government entity with the Department of Health, there's some things that we want to make sure as far as content and the archiving process and how that all stays on the site moving forward. So the idea here is this content still exists. And if a user does want to dive deeper and find some of the, previous items from 2024, 2023, so on and so forth, they're able to do so. But from a user navigation standpoint, we're just making sure that that 2025 stuff stays really at the top first and foremost, since that's really the content that a user is looking to reach a little bit more easily. So really, those are some of the highlights that I wanted to go ahead and talk through. And we've got some really great branding to work with LADDC as well. We really tried hard to incorporate these pieces throughout the site, from the various brand colors to even more subtle elements such as these little line squiggles and things of that nature, to try to make the content a little bit more robust, engaging, And yeah, happy with the final product that we came out with here. Jay, if you're able to speak at this moment, is there anything else that maybe I missed that you think is worth highlighting?
I think that about covers it. I don't know if there's anything from the committee. Y'all have questions, comments?
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sounds good. Well, y'all, we really appreciate the opportunity to work on this project with y'all. I'm happy to stick around if y'all have any other questions for me or if anything else comes up. Otherwise, I'm also happy to hop off as well, whatever y'all's preference is.
You have a question, Jim?
Okay. No.
No, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
We appreciate thanks for the time, y'all. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
So there are a couple things. We don't have a quorum, so Ms. Dooley, would you mind putting that camera on for me, please? Thank you. And, since we don't have a quorum, okay, then, Rikicha with her remaining contract, and if anyone has a question, Elena, you got this, I have full faith.
Have a quorum if she leaves.
Yeah,
We don't have a quorum if you leave.
so can I call a 2-minute recess?
Sure.
That would.
I don't think that will work.
Yeah, we could just recess briefly.
Thank you. Sorry. So very sorry.
No problem.
I'm back as a, just for, as a member, virtual, we barely have a quorum, so please keep all your cameras on. Okay, so we're gonna wait until Miss Patty gets back, and then we will, continue. Okay, And then, okay, thank y'all so much. Okay, so for the third one, Keisha, will you please do the remaining activities?
Yes. All right, so the first activity we have is the painting. All the information that I'm gonna talk about today is actually listed in your status report, which will be on tomorrow in your folders. But just to give you a little bit of a brief update on what the Love Campers have been doing this past fiscal year. They participated in 11 Yellow Shirt Days. They encouraged members of the community to take action on 17 action alerts. They completed 77 formal legislative visits, and they also participated in the Disability Rights Day this year. The leaders and the FHF directors completed 26 input and member meetings with a total of 325 individuals in attendance to discuss concerns and ideas for the 2026 legislative advocacy agenda. This information was also provided to the legislative ad hoc committee to assist in giving ideas towards the council's 2026 legislative agenda, which is what you guys will discuss tomorrow in the meeting. So that's about it for LaCan. Do y'all have any questions about LaCan?
Okay.
So I'll go down to the next one. Families Helping Families is the next activity. The end of year report is provided in the package that you guys received today, actually. 8 out of the 9 centers met or exceeded all of their contractual deliverables for fiscal year 25. Region 7 was the only one that was not able to meet all of their deliverables. They met all of them but one, which was the legislative visits with the director. The director reported that this was only due to her becoming sick and having a council and the meeting needed to be rescheduled. But unfortunately, she cannot reschedule prior to the legislative session starting. So the director stated that strategies have been put in place to ensure that this does not happen again. And actually those strategies are listed in the end of year report. But also, I know we kind of just said that, but just a shout out to Region 7. Their center was named the 2025 bronze winner for the best nonprofit organization in the Shreveport Bossier Choice Award. So congratulations to them on that. And that's it with FHF. Any questions? And a lot of this information, I'm gonna say, oh, yeah.
So, just enough, because the greater New Orleans, the news center, or the new contract, or, you know.
It's working out well. During the fiscal year, they actually changed from one director to another director. The new director is Laura Nada. She's been doing well. We have not gotten a chance to do an audit with that center yet. We're in the process of trying to schedule it. She's actually the last center that we need to schedule an audit for. But that information will be provided to you guys in the next meeting. But they did meet all of their deliverables.
Okay, great. Alright.
Any other questions for the FHF centers? All right, so I'm gonna jump down to FASD, which is the fetal alcohol spectrum disorder contract that we have, the council contract with LSU Developmental Center to kind of give, to increase the awareness of the fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. So since the last quarter, they continued with the creation of an online FASD awareness survey. They also distributed digital resources for FASD Awareness Month in September. And they attended Fetal Alcohol Impact Week in Washington, DC. While there, they met with Louisiana legislators to educate them on FASD and the supports and services needed in Louisiana. So, we also contracted with them to complete some training. So we requested that they do at least 100, training, with at least 100 social workers and at least 50 foster and adoptive parents. And they actually completed all training obligations in June of 2025. So that is it for, FASD. Any questions on that contract? All right, and for the co-occurring, I'm gonna hand it over to Brittany.
Okay, Brandon.
Hey, so you should have a packet, not a packet, you should have a packet, a document in your packet that'll give you a breakdown of attendance and training. So for this initiative, just for folks that might not be super familiar, we're looking to educate folks on navigating supports and services for those people that have co-occurring disabilities. So that's those that are dealing with the ED side, behavioral health side, managed care systems. So during the final quarter of fiscal year 25, that's what just ended in September, we had trainings in the North Shore area, so that's Region 9 out in the 4 parishes, the Greater New Orleans area, Acadiana, which is kind of around the Lafayette area, and the Houma Thibodeau areas. So in total, there were 4 self-advocates, 8 family members, and 18 professionals that attended those trainings. But for the year, as far as end of year totals, that would be 10 self-advocates, 41 family members, 51 professionals, spread across those 10 trainings. Ultimately, the initiative was successful whenever we look at the survey data that we received. Over 96% of those individuals that participated in the surveys after the training felt that they were better prepared to advocate for themselves or someone that they knew based off of the information that they got at this training. And over 93% of them said that they actually learned something new. The other 7% said they learned something somewhat new, so they might have been a little bit more hesitant. But overwhelmingly, people learned something in these trainings that they did not have knowledge about before they walked in. Feedback on the surveys was very positive. Everyone felt that the trainer was very knowledgeable, very well educated in the information that was presented, very engaging, very informative. They indicated that as far as feedback on what could be different, they were hoping the trainings would be longer. Not that they were short, I think they just wanted, based on the feedback, just more time to be able to spend just talking about all the information, because there is so much information there. And they also felt more people should be in attendance. And based on that particular individual's comment, I don't think it was from a negative perspective, because it was followed up with information how much value they got out of the information that's presented, and they wanted just as many people as possible to get that information. So they really hope that more people would attend these trainings, because they felt like everyone needed to have this information. We actually have one person that shared a particular comment that I wanted to share with you guys, because I felt like it's really, it kind of shows what the impact this particular initiative has had on this family. They said the event was perfect timing. They had an appointment the morning after this particular training for a screening for their son for waiver services. They said he's been on a waiting list for a really long time. This is the first time they felt comfortable in understanding the processes and the resources that exist for their child. And they hope to advocate for their son and others to bring about getting more providers, services, and funding for our state. So I think that, you know, comments like that really show that these initiatives that you do spend a lot of time debating and figuring out funding for really do impact people's lives. So I just wanted to share that particular comment with you. We've been doing this initiative now, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and it will continue into this next fiscal year. We're in the process of getting those contracts. No, this is the same initiative, it's not tweak that I'm aware of.
I never know.
You think of some of the team dynamics ones where they're kind of doing some things a little bit different.
We were husband and had it, I thought we had a campaign activity, then training activity, and now in FY 26, we were only doing the training or I don't
So
know.
in fiscal year 25, we had a campaign and training for the fetal alcohol syndrome, but that is wrapped up. Y'all didn't continue that initiative.
Are we not talking about fetal alcohol?
No, you should did that one already.
Oh my God, no. Okay, sorry.
So that's all I've got. for you guys.
All right, thank you, Brendan. All right, so is that all the contract? Any questions for Brendan before we move on to announcement? Please note that our re-70 committee will be held in this room starting at 2:45, followed by education and employment. Also, tomorrow, the full council will meet in this room at 10 a.m. Those who have registered virtually should have the link in their email. Does anyone have any other announcements? Brendan?
So in January, you need to come prepared to, talk about things that you might want the council to focus on in its fiscal year 27 plan, right? 27, yes. Because in March is usually about the time that the planning committee meets. So what you're gonna be responsible for is coming up with ideas of things that you would like to recommend to the planning committee to consider when they start kind of figuring out what initiatives we're gonna focus on in fiscal year 27, which will be the first action plan that we have tied to the new 5-year plan. So we could probably provide you with the 5-year plan information to help you think about different activities. It's just a recommendation. It's not, you're not really hashing out a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, you can have conversations about it, the things that you're going to recommend, but just be thinking of things that you want. I know some of you participated in some of the planning committees, some of the legislative ad hoc committees, and we talked about different things that we think the council might need to focus some of their efforts on. So bring that stuff with you in January. If you have education items, come to the education committee so you can share those. But we'll handle those things that are the goal 1 and 2 area, mostly your home and community-based side and your advocacy side of things.
Thank you. Okay. So any public comment? Okay, thank you. All right, so it is 1:58. So it's 1:58. So I hereby adjourn the meeting at 1:58 by unanimous on just endure.